How's it going, guys? Jonny B here again, and we're gonna kick off this new series with the very first episode, which will be taking apart the car. So any piece that is damaged, broken, bent, we will be replacing with something new. So let's start off by removing the bumper. We're gonna need to buy a new one. Look at this. I think it's gone. Bumper. One of the reasons why I bought the car also was because the frame wasn't damaged. You guys can see here, this is the actual bumper. The bumper is this little piece of metal here, and the bumper cover is just the plastic part. So technically, this is the actual bumper. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the headlights also. The core support, you guys can see, is this part right here. Got a little bent in. Another one of the main things that you have to replace when there was like a little front end crash are the condenser and the radiator. So we're gonna start off by removing these three things. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and bring yourself a trash can. I have one right here. Because we are gonna be throwing all these little extra pieces away, that way we don't make a mess when we're working. Let's go ahead and start by removing this core support right here. Sometimes you can't really get to the bolts that you need to remove, so you can always go ahead and bend it out. We're going to start removing everything, but make sure you salvage parts that are good. Like, for example, these are used to hold the radiator in place, and they're actually still good. So we're gonna try to salvage as many parts as we can. That way when we're in the process of buying things, we have less stuff to buy, therefore we save money. And make sure you put all the bolts together that you take off. Maybe put them in like a little bowl or someplace that you know that you're not going to lose them. That way when you're putting the car back together, you have a little area to go and get some hardware supplies. And if you need more, you know, we could always buy them. Alright, so now that we got some of the bolts off, I had to bend a little bit of things to get everything around it off. So now let's go ahead and just pull stuff off. Take off this top piece of the core support. This is the bottom piece of the core support. Just kind of start getting stuff out of the way. Typically when you're removing parts off of a crashed car, they don't come off as easy as they used to. So what I have to use most of the time is a bar like this, kind of jam in, straighten the parts out. You need to pull them out far enough, that way you can get stuff to actually open up and give you enough room to remove it. So in this case, I was able to remove the headlight. Finally got some bolts out. Here's the headlight, or what remains of the headlight. So we can actually salvage the HID ballast, which is right under here, and I put them into the new headlights. Another thing that I was able to kind of break loose a little bit, the condenser. Here's the condenser. That's no good. It's got a couple punctures. And it looks like they had an upgraded radiator system in it. It was an all aluminum radiator, which would have been cool to have, but unfortunately it's all bent up and it's useless now. I'm gonna try to remove that too. So now we're going to go ahead and remove the radiator. I got the bottom hose off, so it should easily come right out now. There it is, fans. warranty information. I actually don't think they can warranty that one anymore though. So we're gonna have to buy a new one. Alright, so just to make it clear what we did today, the first thing we did was go ahead and remove the bumper, which is obviously gone. We took off the condenser, the radiator, and the core support, which is why we can see the engine completely. And we took off one of the headlights because they're a little bit difficult to take off in this car since they're bolted through the back, and you kind of have to stick your hand in through the back of the fender to unbolt them. But the tires are in the way, and the inner fender liner is in the way also. So I was only able to remove one because I was able to get to the bolt on the inside. So now that we went ahead and removed everything, we can do a damage assessment of what are the parts that we're going to need, what got damaged, and how we're going to do it. So if you guys look down here, the frame, all this bottom area is perfectly straight, none of it got damaged. The HID ballast on both of the headlights actually were saved, which is a big plus because they can be really expensive. Also, the engine seems to be in perfectly good condition. Probably just replace a little cover that it has right here. Looks like we're gonna need a new air filter, so we're gonna have to look for one of those, either in a junkyard, see if we can find one online, or I can even ask the dealership how they are new. I'm probably gonna do most of my price comparisons by calling the dealership. That's usually the best place to call first, because sometimes things can be more expensive at, let's say, you know, a second-hand store like a junkyard. They can be more expensive than at the dealership sometimes because they don't know the prices actually. So I always like to compare with the dealer price first, get a layout from them, so they can tell me what the cost is for every single part, and I can usually get them a little bit cheaper. If not, we can find them in a junkyard or at an auto parts place. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you remember to subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions. I'm going to be posting more videos of these, so if you want to keep seeing the progress of the car, how it's going, and how to fix your own car, make sure you stay tuned. You guys have a good day.